Go, Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me, for me, for me. So you think you can stop me and spit my eye? So you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, they to 3, and she looked at me, then showed a photo. Baby cried, his eyes were like mine. Go and dance on the floor in the round, baby. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. But she came and stood right by me. Just a smell of sweet perfume. I guess it happened pretty soon. She called me to her home. The pretty jeans, not my love. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. The pretty jeans, not my love. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. No, she says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. The Billie Jean's not my love. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. The kid is not my son. She says I am the one. The kid is not my son. She says I am the one. You know what you did. She says he's my son. Breaking my heart, babe. She says I am the one. The Billie Jean's not my love. 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 Go with Billie Jean. Billie Jean's not my Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue. And when the band plays "Hail to the Chief," ooh, they point the cannon at you. Lord, it ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no senator's son. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one. No. Some folks are born silver spoon in hand. Lord, don't they help themselves, y'all? But when the tax man comes to the door, Lord, the house looking like a rummage sale, yes. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no millionaire son, no, no. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one, no. Yeah, some folks inherit star-spangled eyes. Ooh, they send you down to war. And when you ask them how much should we give, ooh, the only answer more, more, more. Yo, it ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no military son. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate one. No, no, no. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no fortunate son. I've paid my dues time after time. I've done my sentence, but committed no crime. had mistakes, I've made a few. I've had my share of sad kicks in my face, but I've come through. I need to go on, on. We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. I've taken my bow.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And hello, Florida. Hello, Florida. It's great to be with you and back at the Villages. I like the Villages. Turn the mic up. It's great to be with you. It's something I've wanted to do. You know, I was here 4 years ago in some little ballroom that held about 400 people. And I said, I want to be with the Villages, everybody. I said, get a field or do something. Just go out and get a field. Go out and get a field. And that's what they did. They got a lot of people here. And I see you driving around in those beautiful golf carts, the most beautiful carts. I want to get one. I'm going to get a golf cart like that. But you have the best. And you're always fighting for me, and I'm always fighting for you. And I appreciate it. That's why we're here. And we had an exciting night last night with Sleepy Joe. But I'm always here to protect you and love, cherish, defend our nation's seniors. And not all of you are seniors. I see a lot of people that are very young in this group. And I see a lot of people that are young at heart, right? We're young at heart, all of us. And the timeless values that make this nation the greatest nation anywhere in the world. 11 days from now, we're going to win the state of Florida. We're going to win 4 more years in the White House. I think Joe Biden proved last night that he's not capable of being President of the United States. Come on, Gabe. The country saw firsthand that this election is a choice between a Trump recovery, and I'll call it because that's what's happening. It's a Trump super recovery and a Biden depression, because you will have a depression. Who has 401ks in this group? Anybody? If he got in, wave bye-bye to your 401k, because it's going down the tubes. It's a choice between optimism, patriotic vision for American success, or Joe Biden's dark, dismal, gloomy. Did you hear what he said last night about darkness, always darkness? But it's a gloomy vision. We're about the American dream, all about the American dream, greatest country in the world. Joe Biden is totally controlled by the radical socialist left. This country will never be a socialist country, never. One of the most stunning moments last night was when Joe Biden admitted that he wants to abolish the oil industry. That wasn't too good. Did you see him this morning? This morning, I didn't really mean that. I didn't mean that. That was the last question. They talked about that. I said, whoa, this is the big point of the evening. Remember, I said, well, do you want to get rid of oil and gas? Is that, yeah, well, we want to phase it out. I said, thank you. Texas, are you watching? Pennsylvania, Oklahoma, Ohio, are you watching? Now they're going around, Kamala is going around saying, no, 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 we want to keep it. This woman is a super radical left. She's against fracking. If they get in, they'll end your energy independence. We have energy independence right now. They will end it very quickly. No, they're going around trying to make, you know, that was one of the, well, we're going to have to see how it works out. But that could be one of the worst mistakes made in presidential debate history. We're going to see. We hope it is. This is perhaps the most shocking admission ever made during a debate where he goes in and he says, no fracking, but he's been saying it. No fracking. He got the nomination. All of a sudden, he's fracking. No fossil fuels and no gas-powered cars. Ultimately, let's not have cars. Let's get rid of airplanes. How about that senator from Hawaii, where she went along with the Green New Deal? And she said, yes, I'm in favor. He said, yeah, but you're not allowed to use airplanes under the Green New Deal, and she's in Hawaii. She said, well, I don't know what to tell you. And then she says, maybe we can build a bridge to Hawaii instead. She's a beauty, isn't she? She's great. Biden's plan would mean America's seniors have no air conditioning during the summer, no heat during the winter, and no electricity during peak hours. It's true. You know, he wants wind. He wants wind. You know, when the wind doesn't blow. Let's watch the president tonight, darling, on television. I'm sorry. We can't. The wind's not blowing tonight. Last night, Biden pledged to institute the most horrible and dangerous immigration policy ever in this country. Catch and release. He wants to bring it back. Took me 2 years to get rid of it. That's where you catch a criminal, could be a rapist, could be a murderer, a real criminal, and you just release the criminal and say, please come back in 4 years. Did you see what he said last night? He said, no, and then they come back for court. I said, no, they don't come back, Joe. 1%. He said, they come back. No, I said, Joe, you don't know anything about it. They don't come back. This is a very bad policy, Joe. They don't come back. They need Perry Mason, but they don't get Perry Mason. They just don't come back. Criminals and rapists and even murderers are set free, and they're set free into our country. It's ended now. It was very hard to get ended. What I had to do to end it, I will not tell you. I will not tell the people of the villages. I won't tell the people of the village. By the way, you love it here, right? Yeah? I don't know. It's an incredible popular place. I see it so much. It's incredible. The love, the spirit. So do you love the people that developed it? I think so, right? Right? It's nice to have somebody, but that wasn't the same love as you had for the... No, somebody did a good job. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Look at this guy. Look. Beautiful. Look, it's Uncle Sam. Come here, Uncle Sam. Look at this guy. Look. This is a hell of a day, Mr. Congressman. How are you? When are you getting married? You getting married soon, please? Don't lose her, Congressman. You'll be very depressed. Biden says America is nothing more than an idea, right? He also said, didn't he say Antifa's just an idea, too? So he's saying, only at the villages could you say that. No, he said America was an idea, but come to think of it, he said Antifa's an idea, too, right? Well, America's not an idea. It's a great country, okay? It's a great country. And America is our home. It's a nation, and it's a nation that has borders, you know? When you have borders, you have a nation. You take away the borders. They want to take away the borders. They want to take down the wall. The wall is now 400-plus miles long. How about that? And it goes very high and very low. It goes down deep for two reasons. To hold it up is one. That's a good reason, but also for the tunnels. And Arizona is very happy. We just got back, Pam, some numbers from Arizona. Very good. Numbers from Florida. I don't want to talk about it. Look at all the fake news back there. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Look at all those people. There's the great John Roberts, who's generally speaking very good. John, generally, but he has bad moments. Hello, John. You having a good time? He's a good guy. John is good. John is good. They're not all fake. Just about 85% of them. But isn't it amazing? You know, someday I'd like to make a speech without any press. Without any press. One little mistake and they try and take you out. And I do this 4 times a day. It's crazy. So we're going on a tour for the next 10 days. Can you believe it? We're down to 10, 11 days. And we'll be doing 2 or 3 of these, and then 4 of these, and then we're going to end up 5 or 6 of these a day. Do you believe that? Is this any kind of a life? Is this a life? Who can do that? Who can do that? Do you think Sleepy Joe can do that? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think he can do it. I knew there was a reason I wanted to be at the villages. It was a hard thing. This was very hard. They said they have no field that's large enough. I said, do they have a polo field someplace? Let's get a polo. Look at that equipment. Look at those helicopters. How good are they? Everything's good. 2.5 trillion. We should have good helicopters. But if Biden wins, your borders will be gone and your country will be gone, frankly. Look, this is not a man that's capable. When I meet with these heads of state, the one thing I can tell you, they're sharp. They're sharp. They're not off. They're sharp. This is not a man that can handle the job. You know, he leaves his house this morning, gets up, and I'm going to talk about it. All he talks about is COVID, 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 because they want to scare people, and we've done so well with it. Now it's 99.8%. I mean, you look at what's going on, and we're rounding the turn. We're rounding the corner. We're rounding the corner beautifully. But Joe Biden was very disrespectful last night to President Barack Hussein Obama. You saw that. Barack Hussein Obama. Remember, Rush Limbaugh would always do that. He'd do Barack Hussein Obama. And Rush is doing okay. You know, Rush is great, isn't it? Do we love Rush? He's got such guts. He's going through a lot, but he's got courage like few people have. He always has had courage. At last night's debate, though, he was really disrespectful when he said that he, Joe, was vice president, not president, blaming Obama when trying to make excuses for their failed immigration policies, right? You saw that? I wasn't the president, it was him, because we talked about cages, right? I said, Joe, you built the cages. Remember, they tried to say, cages for children. And they said, Trump built cages, and then they found out it was a little problem. There was a picture in the New York Times, the failing New York Times. If you take a look at what its unfunded liability is, check it out sometime. It's definitely failing. It's only a question of when. But you take a look at the failing New York Times, and they had a picture of a cage, and they thought that I built it. And it said cage. And then somebody called me. They said, sir, that was built. One of the people that helped build it. That was built in 2014. I said, 2014, I didn't happen to be president. It was built under Obama/Sleepy Joe Biden. And so did you notice when I kept saying, why did you build the cages, Joe? Why did you? And he just kept talking. He didn't want any part of it, but they started it. If you want jobs, safety, and borders, you have to vote for the party of Abraham Lincoln, Honest Abe. Vote Republican. And I'm voting early tomorrow in Florida. Do you believe it? I'm coming to vote. I came down here to vote. I actually came down here to see the villages, and tomorrow morning I'm voting here, as opposed to sending it in. You know, those mail-ins. I like being able to vote. I'm old-fashioned, I guess. I like to get online, and if I have to stand there for 2 hours, maybe they'll move me up a little bit. But I like to vote. So I'm coming. I'm going to be voting here tomorrow. And I urge every one of you to go and vote, and I don't think I have to urge too many. How many people here have already voted? That's incredible. Thank you. Look at you. How many people here have voted for President Trump? How many people here have voted for Sleepy Joe Biden, please? I don't see any hands. You know, I tend to believe him, too. Sleepy Joe, no, he's not the guy. For 47 years, Joe Biden sent American jobs to China and other nations while the Bidens vacuum up. Look, did you see what's going on with his son? I mean, he goes into a country, the guy leaves with like volumes of money, vacuum up millions of dollars all over the globe. Last night, Joe lied straight to the American people. He claimed that he had never taken a penny from any foreign source ever in my life, ever. No, I mean, he goes and think of it. His son, without a job, knows nothing about energy. Have you, these young people in front, do you know anything about energy? No, she said no. She knows more than Hunter. Remember, where's Hunter? Where is, by the way, where the hell is Hunter? Where is Hunter? Remember the T-shirt? I said one time, where's Hunter? The next day they had a T-shirt, where's Hunter? There he is. Hunter, you gained weight, but you look even better. You still look better. Anyway, no, but think of it. He gets lined up with this Ukrainian energy company, not the highest reputation. $183,000 a month to be on the board, right? Gets a $3 million upfront payment. Then that's only First Nation. Then he goes, he has no knowledge of energy whatsoever. Anybody in this audience knows more. They then go to China. Let's go to China. He gets $1.5 billion to manage, meaning millions of dollars a year in fees. He then goes to Russia. He gets $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife. $3.5 million. And Obama was in charge of all of that stuff. Then they stole the Crimea. They stole the submarine port, Russia, and Russia takes it. And he's in charge of Russia, but he got $3.5 million. So what's going on with that? So he was in charge of Ukraine, China, Russia. That was sort of a responsibility of the vice president. And he got money from all of them. And he got it from his son, and his son made no money for years. And all of a sudden, he's making all this money. They're corrupt politicians, okay? You say what you want. And then you see the notes, and you see the gentleman that got up yesterday, and you see what he had to say. He's a legitimate person. But you see the notes, and you see that Joe gets 10% of everything, right? And Pammy got 50% on something. And then the guy has a deal in China where he wants to get $10 million a year, $10 million a year, for introductory purposes. In other words, he's going to introduce people. You know who's going to introduce his father? That's who he's going to introduce. No, it's a bad deal. It's a bad deal. It's corrupt as hell. I don't care what you say. It's corrupt as hell. Okay? And you know, they like to also, they say, oh, well, what about you with the kids? I don't do deals. I don't do deals. I used to do more deals. I was the king of deals. And I don't do deals. I tell my kids, you can't. It's conflicts. Just don't do it. So it's possibly allowed. It probably is allowed. But I said, we don't need it. Just don't do them. My kids, these kids have done such a good job. They have done such a good job. And they don't do deals. The Bidens got rich while America got robbed. And how did Biden get so wealthy, spending a half a century in public office? He's been in public office for 47 years, almost 50 years. He used his office for personal profit at your expense, at my expense, at all of our expenses. In 2016, Florida voted to fire this depraved political establishment, and you elected an outsider as president who is finally putting America first and putting the villages first. Putting the villages first. We're putting the villages first. And if I don't sound like a typical Washington politician, it's because I'm not a politician. And if I don't always play by the rules of the Washington establishment, the deep state, the rhinos, you know, the rhinos are almost worse than our enemy. The rhinos, we love those rhinos. Republican in name only. You know what that is, right? Republican in name only. We got a lot of them. But they're slowly disappearing. It's amazing. They disappear into the woods. But if I don't always play by the rules of the Washington establishment, it's because I was elected to fight for you, and I fought for you harder than any president has ever fought for anybody. And with your vote, we'll continue to cut taxes. I got you the largest tax cut in the history of our country. Cut regulations, lower drug prices. Your drugs will be going down 60, 70, 80% because I'm instituting what's called a favored nations clause. You see all the commercials the drug companies are running against me? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. This is why I see politicians. This is one of the many reasons why. The other reason is that the biggest lobbyists, the biggest donator by far are the drug companies. Very powerful, a lot of money. They are taking commercials of me. I don't care. I'm doing the right thing. I instituted a favored nations clause where the United States, right now, we pay the highest price of any country in the world by far. It's not even close. It's not even close. You could have a pill that sells for 10 cents, identical, and in the United States could sell for $3. That's how bad it is. It's terrible. So I instituted what we call a favored nations clause. So we will now we will be paying the lowest price matched, the lowest price anywhere in the world. And I'm getting hit hard on that one, but that's okay, Pam. Is that okay? I'll have to withstand. The commercials are unbelievable. You know, they're unbelievable. But that's okay. People get it. We want to support our police, protect our Second Amendment. They want to take your Second Amendment away. Defend our borders, maintain energy independence, and ensure more products are proudly stamped with the phrase, that gorgeous phrase, made in the USA. We'll deliver record prosperity, epic growth, and a safe vaccine. It's quickly coming. that will help end. By the way, it's ending anyway. It's going to end. You're going to have surges. Look at Europe. They have a surge, and it goes down. Look at Florida. You have a great governor, by the way. You have a great governor. And you have an even better first lady, but I won't say that. Now you have a great governor. In fact, the governor is going to go to Canada. I gave him the right. He's going to Canada where they pay 50% less for the same drug. And he is going to buy, for the state of Florida, until this favored nations kicks in, where you go down 70, 80, 90%. And last year was the first year in 52 years that drug prices in this country went down. Not by much, but they went down. They didn't go up. 1%. Not much, not proud, 1%. But with favored nations, you'll go down 50, 60, 70, maybe even 80% in drug prices. But I gave your governor the right to go to Canada and buy drugs in Canada, the same exact drug from the same factory, same company, 50% and even more discount. And so you're going to start seeing it fast, and then ultimately the favored nations will kick in. So I better be president when all this stuff happens. Can you imagine? It's all done. Can you imagine if Sleepy Joe said, I've done a very good job on drug pricing. What did you do, Joe? I don't know. I don't know what I did. So we're going to, thank you very much, we're going to quickly end this pandemic, this horrible plague that came in from China. They should have stopped it, and we're not going to forget what they did. We're not forgetting at all. You know, I'd signed a great trade deal with China. Recently, they had the biggest order of corn in the history of our country, biggest order of soybeans, biggest order of beef. But you know what? It's no longer the same to me. Doesn't mean the same. Would have been great. I would have been so proud of it, but now I don't view it the same. Normal life, that's all we want. Normal life will fully resume. We had the greatest economy in our history. And next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country. We're doing it. We have a super V going up. If you look at housing, if you look at cars, if you look at car production, nobody can believe the numbers. And you're going to have a number released very soon. And the number is going to be, think of it, think of this. You're going to have a GDP. Now the Fed, Atlanta, I believe, the Atlanta Fed projected GDP of 35% in the third quarter. I don't know if it's going to be 35. In any event, that would be higher than any GDP ever in history, and many times higher than our highest, which I think was like 7 or 8%. 35%, we'll see. We'll see. Whether it was 20%, if it was 12%, I'd say it was great. But they just came out, they said 35. Who knows if they're right? We're going to see. Here's the good news. It's going to be announced right before November 3rd. Right before. And I'm willing to take my chances being a gambling man. I'm willing to take my chances. I think it's going to be a magnificent, whether it's 25, 35, 20, no matter what it is, it's going to be a great number because we're doing numbers like nobody would believe. We thought we'd have an unemployment of 40, 42%. You know what it was? It dropped down to 7.8%. And yesterday, Larry Kudlow called, the great Larry Kudlow, and he said, by a certain standard, it's 5.8%. Think of that. And we're in the midst of rounding out, but in the midst of a pandemic. It's actually amazing what everybody has done. And I've been given a lot of help with some of the people over here. I gave you the largest tax cut and reforms in American history. And we will cut taxes further, and we're cutting taxes for the middle class. We're cutting taxes for people that need jobs, and nobody's ever done it at a level like we've done it. By contrast, Sleepy Joe Biden will give you the single biggest tax hike in the history of our country. He's talking about quadrupling taxes, $4 trillion in taxes so he can waste it on the Green New Deal. The Green New Deal. No cars, no airplanes, no cows, you know. Whatever happened? Did they ever leave the cows in? I think they had to take that out, right? Remember? Originally, it was no cows. They didn't want to have any cattle or cows, which is pretty brutal when you think of it, right? He'll bury you in regulations, dismantle your police departments, dissolve our borders, confiscate your guns, terminate religious liberty, destroy your suburbs. You know, I'm always saying, I'll tell you, the fraudulent media, so I always get up and I have fun. Please, please, suburban women, you should love me. I ended the regulation that's going to destroy the suburbs. Please, please. Suburban women, you should love me, you know, because somebody said I'm not doing that well with suburban women. I said, why? You know, last time I was supposed to be doing terribly with women. Then I got 52%. They said, what the hell happened with Trump and women all of a sudden? Remember, they said Trump did well with women. So now they go. So I kid. I say, please, please, suburban women, please, please love me, suburban women. I want you to love me. Because I got rid of the regulation that's going to destroy your neighborhood. You don't want to have projects next to your house. You don't want to have crime in the suburbs, etc., right? So I go on 60 Minutes, and she says, Leslie Stahl, that's another beauty. She goes, you were begging suburban women to love you, weren't you? I said, no, I was just having fun. We were just having fun. These people are sick. They are bad. They are bad. But they want to decimate Florida seniors, and seniors, all seniors, okay? And by the way, what I've done for suburban women, but suburban people that live in the suburbs, you know, that's really the dream. That's the American dream. And you know, 30% of the people, because people say, oh, is that racist? 30% of the people living in the suburbs are minority groups. Hispanic American, Black American. Think of it. Asian American, 31% are from minority groups. For years, Joe Biden fought to cut your Social Security. He wanted to cut it. He wanted to knock it out. And Medicare, a fact which Joe is now falsely denied. You notice? Oh, I loved it yesterday, the way he denied that. So does that mean you want to get rid of fossil fuel, Joe? Yes, that's what it means. Oh, thank you. This debate, let's end it. Let's end it right now. By the way, I got treated I thought, very fairly by the anchor. I thought, right? Kristen, I was surprised. She's been a little bit rough on me over the years. I was surprised. But her, network has been crazy. NBC, Comcast, C-O-N, Comcast. But I thought Kristen did a very good job yesterday. Some people said she interrupted me much more than she interrupted Sleepy Joe. But that's because he didn't have that much to say, so. But no, I thought she was fair. I said it during the show. I said, I think you've handled it very professionally. It's not easy. So today I want to show you Joe Biden's own words. The video I'm about to play was created by Bernie Sanders, Crazy Bernie. You know, Bernie's the single greatest loser. The way he loses, he gets Sportsmanship of the Year, right? What they did to him 4 years ago was quite terrible. What they did to him this year was even, then he just goes back to Congress and talks. He's Crazy Bernie. A lot of his people are going to come with us because you know why? They love our trade policy. Because he, like me, understands how badly we've been taken advantage of by other countries, including our allies, by the way. The video I'm about to play was created by Crazy Bernie earlier this year to expose Joe Biden's atrocious record and his egregious lies. Go ahead. Play it. Mr. DeMille.
Yeah. Have you been on the floor of the Senate? You're in the Senate for a few years now. Time and time again, talking about the necessity with pride about cutting Social Security, cutting Medicare, cutting veterans programs. No. You never said that. No.
When I argue that we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well. I meant Medicare and Medicaid. I meant veterans. I meant every single solitary thing in that government.
Look, you're an honest guy. Why don't you just tell the truth? You don't have to say it. I am telling the truth.
And I not only tried it once, I tried it twice, I tried it a third time, and I tried it a fourth time.
Joe, let me repeat it again. I want you just to be straight to the American people. I am saying that you have been on the floor of the Senate time and time again talking about the need to cut Social Security, Medicare, and veterans programs. Is that true or is that
No, it's not true.
What, that is not true?
That is not true. I meant veterans. I meant every single solitary thing in table. I did not support any of those cuts in Social Security or in veterans. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Everything is on the table. Oh, you're right. You just said, including, in your judgment, cuts to Social Security and veterans. In order to get the kinds of changes we need on other things, and but we did not cut it. I know, because people like me helped stop that. All I would say to the American people, don't use this all over the place. Joe said it many, many times. I'm surprised. You know, you can defend it or change your mind on it, but you can't deny the reality.
I'll tell you what, do these people do a good job? Do they do a good job? No, he's a liar. He lies about everything. He's now lying about not being a corrupt politician. I called him last night. He's a corrupt I don't want to say that, but he's a corrupt politician, and he'll lie. But he lied about that. He lied about fracking. And he'll look at you and he'll lie. He goes, there will be no fracking, will be no fracking. This goes on for a year. Then he goes to Pennsylvania. He says, there'll be fracking. And then you'll say, well, wait, you said there will be none. He'll say, no, I never said that. This guy is either really stupid or he lies, just at a level that nobody's ever seen before. By the way, that's a great video. Who did that video? I love that video. Who the hell did it? I have some good, talented people. Under my leadership, no one will touch your Medicare and nobody will touch your Social Security, okay? By the way, that's a devastating video. I just saw it for the first time. That's devastating. Now Biden's pushing free government health care, which is socialized medicine, and mass amnesty for illegal aliens, meaning he wants to take care of illegal aliens before he takes care of our seniors. And you know, the problem is we all want to take care of everybody. But if you ever do that, where you give Medicare, you give free everything, including education, you're going to have this country swamped with millions and millions of people from all over the world wanting to pour in to get it. You can't do it. And it would obliterate your Medicare and your Social Security, totally obliterate it. Joe Biden cares more about illegal aliens than he does about senior citizens, and that's true. And you see it in that clip. I believe that American seniors must come first, okay? Must come first, that's true. Must come first. Last night, Biden outlined a plan to create socialized medicine, raiding Medicare to fund his government takeover. Biden's running mate, the most liberal member of the United States Senate. And by the way, Kamala will not be your first female president. She will not be your first female president. It's not the way it's supposed to be. We're not supposed to have a socialist. Look, we're not going to be a socialist nation. We're not going to have a socialist president, especially a female socialist president. We're not going to have it. We're not going to put up with it. It's not going to happen. Most liberal member, more so than Bernie, of the U.S. Senate, co-sponsors a socialist health care plan to end Medicare as you know it, and Medicare works. Medicare works. We love our Medicare. It does work. And eliminate Medicare Advantage, which nearly 2 million Florida seniors depend on, including 1 out of every 2 Hispanic seniors. You see how well I'm doing with Hispanic? You see? They're going crazy. No, they're going crazy. They don't know what happened. They're going like our Democrat rivals. They're having a lot of time. African American doing well. Hispanic. The Hispanic is like, they don't know what's going on. Not the Hispanics, I'm talking the Democrats. They're saying, what the hell is going on here? Oh, you're going to have a big surprise. You know that beautiful, beautiful, good, you heard about the red wave, right? It's called the Great Wave. We're all waiting for that great red wave. But you know, we're supposed to be, it's supposed to be all these votes are going to come in and then we catch them up later on because our people like to go to vote like me. But we catch up later on. There's only one problem. In a lot of cases, we're already winning. This is before the wave. We're already winning. So a lot of interesting things are happening, and those guys back there are saying, well, some of them like it, I think. But you know the interesting thing without me? You know what's going to happen to their ratings? Boom, boom. Can you imagine if you had 4 years of covering Sleepy Joe? It wouldn't be 4 years. Since I took office, we've reduced Medicare Advantage premiums by 34%. Good management. Socialist health care programs like the one supported by Biden and Harris always end up denying coverage to the sick and the elderly in order to reduce the soaring costs. Our opponents want to turn America into a communist Cuba, into a socialist Venezuela. If you look at the ideology that these people are talking about, take a look at Portland with the anarchists all over the place. By the way, we're asking the governor for approval to go in and clean out that mess, which has been going on for 140 days. But it's really been going on for many years. It's been going on like for Portland, anarchists, and it'd be so easy. Look at what we did in Minneapolis. After 10 days of rioting and everything else, we sent in the National Guard. They lined up again. World's most expensive outfits, $250,000 apiece. Helmets that are like a solid computer, right? And they had their tear gas, they had their pepper spray, which the Democrats don't want you to use. They don't want you to use anything. They want you to get hit. They want you to get hit with rocks and stones. But they had their tear gas, and they just marched forward. In 1.5 hours, the whole thing was over. It was all over. The only problem is they should have called us in sooner. If Biden wins, the radical left will transform this country into something that you will not recognize. They'll want to shatter the middle class with trillions of dollars in new taxes, $4 trillion, pack the Supreme Court with far left judges, 16, 18, 20. And how do you like Amy Coney Barrett? Right, everybody. She's great. She's great. She's great. She made them look a little foolish, didn't she? As the Democrats went after her, it was like, boom. What do you have written down? What do you have written down on your pad? Nothing. Right? It's sort of cool. Happened to be a Republican that asked the question, but figure that one out, right? They want to unleash the violent rioters, criminal aliens, MS-13 killers, and they will indoctrinate your grandchildren and your children with poisonous anti-American lies in their schools, which we've ended. If you want your grandchildren to grow up in a free nation where they can speak their minds and pursue the American dream, then you must defeat Sleepy Joe Biden and the radical left. You have to do it. And it's not really Joe. Look, let's face it, Joe doesn't have a clue. But he's surrounded by people that are definitely, they've got some problems. You got to reject the left-wing fascism and vote for American freedom. Our country is set to be greater than ever before. Watch, we're set. We're joined today by some incredible people. And a man I just mentioned, he's just a friend of mine. He said, I'd love to run for governor, and he did run, and I endorsed him, and he ran, and he went like a rocket ship. He was a great candidate. Then he had to run a candidate against a very, very powerful, great Democrat with a tremendous future. They said he's going to be the future of the Democrat Party. How's he doing, by the way? Is he doing fine? Yeah. I think Ron did him a favor by beating him. He did the Democrats a favor by beating him, right? But Ron DeSantis became your governor. You have an incredible First Lady in Casey DeSantis, and they're here. Hey, Ron, how are we doing? If we don't win, I'll never speak to him again. A warrior, a great guy that has always been there for me. He's tough, he's strong, he's smart. Congressman Mike Waltz. Congressman. And a man with maybe the greatest name in politics, who also, whenever you need him, he's there, and he loves your state, and he loves our country. Daniel Webster. How's that name, good? How is that name? Hello, Daniel. What a name, Dan. With a name like that, how can you lose in politics, right? Daniel Webster. Congressional candidate who's way ahead in the polls, Kat Kamek. She's way ahead. How's that number looking, Kat? It's huge. She's doing great. She's a future star, and a future and current and past star, and a really great friend of mine, somebody that has always been there. Former Florida Attorney General. She could have anything she wanted, by the way. Anything. Former Attorney General Pam Bondi. Great woman, great person. She could have anything she wants. She could go, what are you going back into running or something? Or anytime you want to come into the administration, just call. But I hear she's doing very well, to put it mildly, right? All Biden and his handlers in the media want to talk about today is COVID, COVID, COVID. You know that. You turn on CNN. Look, their light just went off. You turn on CNN. You turn on MSDNC. You turn on this network. There's COVID, 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 COVID. On November 4th, you won't hear anything about it because we are rounding that turn. You won't hear. But they want to scare you to try to make you vote for Biden. That's all he can talk about because his record is horrible. And by the way, his record with the H1N1, which he always reverses, swine flu, was horrendous. The person that ran it, his chief of staff, right? Chief of staff, ran it. The chief of staff said, it was a catastrophe. We didn't know what we were doing. It was an absolute disaster. Now he's going to come in and tell us what to do. Do you ever see where he said, you were late, except when I closed it to China, he said I shouldn't close it. For 2.5 months, he said I shouldn't close it. Then he ultimately admitted that he was wrong. And then he amazingly got a nomination, which he should have never gotten, because you know why? Pocahontas, if she would have gotten out 3 days early. It's true, she took all of Bernie's votes on Super Tuesday. It's true. She took all of, do you agree with that, Congressman? She took all of his votes away. All he needed was a few more votes. He would have won every state. So you have somebody that really got a little bit lucky. You know, in prime time, they used to call him 1% Joe. Now in far less than prime time, he gets a nomination. Figure this one. Only in the world of politics can this happen. But if you watch CNN and MSDNC, the networks, it's all they talk about. They focus on case numbers. You know case numbers? You know why we have so many case numbers? Because we do more testing than any country in the world, times 5, 10, 20. You have many countries don't do any testing, so they don't have any cases. You have many, many countries that have very few cases because they don't do testing. We test, we have tests like you wouldn't believe. You know, we got started because the fake news would say, where's the testing? We did more. We have the best tests in the world, and there's plenty good about testing, too. The bad thing is you find cases. Barron Trump, right? Young man, 14, strong. So he tests positive. I said, oh, that's terrible. They said, no, it's okay. The doctor, great doctor, White House doctor, Sean. I said, like 15 seconds later, how's Barron doing? He's all better, sir. I said, what are you talking about? The fact is, young people, 99.99 or something, young people, their immune systems, I hate to say it, they're a little stronger than our immune systems, right? Although I got it, and here we are, right? Here we are. It works out good. Here we are. And the good news, once you get it, you're immune. Now, it used to be before I got it, you were immune for life. I heard you were immune for life. Once I got it, they said, no, it's only 4 months, okay? We have a double standard. You never notice that? It was always like, once you get it, you're immune. I get it. Nope, it's only good for 4 months. Okay. It's a fake news. Last night, Biden, in his very weak debate performance, said, did you see some of the debates? 91% to 9. 91% in my favor to 9. 91 to 9, I like that. I like the sound of that. But last night he said America is entering a dark winter. Isn't that really inspirational? He's running for president. Think of it. We have this guy that can't even speak, and he goes, "We're entering a dark winter." So inspirational. But he's trying to scare people, basically. He's trying to get something because he's been such a failure at every level of government that this is something. But what they don't remember is the swine flu and how bad it was. But I bring that up whenever I can. But we're not entering a dark winter. We're entering the final turn and approaching the light at the end of the tunnel. That's the way I look at it. I took very rapid action to ban travel from China and Europe, and Biden opposed it. We pioneered incredible therapies, and we reduced the fatality rate by 85%. Think of that, what we've learned. What we've learned. And we went out and we made just incredible things. The equipment we made, the equipment that we bought, the ventilators. We're the king of ventilators now as a country. Everybody has ventilators. We're sending them all over the world. We're making them by the thousands. We're the only one who could do anything like that. It's the biggest mobilization of anything since World War II, the ventilators. It's a big thing. And I'm working to make the antibody treatment that I received available free to anybody that needs it, and we'll have it done pretty soon. All I know, I can talk to this group because we have something in common. All I know is I didn't feel too good. And it's been a long time since I didn't feel so good. I didn't have time to feel bad, right? But I didn't feel so good. I said, "Doc, I'm not feeling too great here." And he said, "Let me check it out." "Oh, you're positive." "Oh, that's not what I wanted to hear." But I can't put myself into a basement of the White House. I don't have that luxury. No, I'm the President of the United States. I can't put myself into a beautiful bedroom and not come out for a year and a half someplace at the White House. I got to work. I meet with military leaders. I meet with foreign leaders. I meet with Gold Star families. I meet with so many people. I can't close myself up. And I say, oftentimes, I just met a lot of people. That's risky. And then one day I got it. I got it. And First Lady got it. But we got it. You see a lot of people. But we have a job to do. And we beat it. And we beat it. And we beat it. It was good. But I will tell you, I wasn't feeling great. And I'm laying in bed. And the one thing with you, President, you're going to find this out, Mr. Congressman, one thing. When you're president, you're not feeling good, you're laying in a bed, you got more doctors than any human being has ever had. I had 12 doctors. I had doctors from the greatest schools in the world. Johns Hopkins was there, and Walter Reed Medical Center. These people are unbelievable, the job they do. The job they do for our incredible soldiers, our wounded warriors, our people that come home that badly injured, badly hurt. The job they do is incredible. So I'm laying there, not feeling my best, and every doctor had a different specialty, right? And I had more hands on me than any human being. And I didn't like it. I said, "Come on, let's make this quick." But the bottom line is I took this Regeneron, it's called, and I wake up the next morning and I felt like Superman. It's like, "Whoa, get me out of here. I got to get back to the people." Now, I don't know. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it was me. No, there he is, Superman. Look at that. Super Trump. Wow, look at this guy. Do you live at the Villages? I don't think so. Do you? No, do you really? This guy lives at the Villages. I think I'll move in. I have an idea. I will sell Mar-a-Lago. And I'll move to the Villages. You know what? Not the worst idea. I like that idea. I like that idea. I like the people here. We'll have 100 million vaccine doses before the end of this year, and seniors will be the first in line. We're taking care of our seniors. Under my plan, you will get incredible life-saving therapies. Our therapies are incredible. Remdesivir just got approved. You saw that. Just today, got approved. And the FDA has moved at a pace that they've never moved before. They're approving things in weeks, which used to take years. That's a little prodding from me, I have to be honest with you. But they're doing it. They're doing it. They're doing a great job. You will get a vaccine that ends the epidemic or the pandemic, and it ends it and eradicates it. But without it, it goes away, but with it, it goes away faster, and it's going to happen very, very soon. You're going to have it very soon. A lot of great companies are right there. You'll get to see your friends, families, and loved ones, and you'll get to enjoy being with them in their golden years. It's a sad thing where you can't be near people. I mean, did you ever hear of anything like this? You can't be near people when they're in trouble. But we're going to be very close. We're very, very close. You watch. Under Biden's plan, you'll be locked down for years. The cure will be worse than the problem itself. Remember that. You got to lead your life. And you know what? Some people want to stay in, and that's good. Do it. Do it. Don't, you know, I'm sort of like, lead your life, right? And some people agree with me, some people. But if you want to stay in, if you want to do what you're doing, you do it. If you want to get out, you want to be careful and socially distance and all of the things. And you can wear a mask if you can't socially distance. There are a lot of things you can do. But some people want to stay in, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But you're going to have a vaccine, and it's going to be an incredible success. Wait till you see these vaccines that they're coming out with, and you're going to have therapeutics and therapies and cures. You know, to me, the cure or the therapy is more important than the vaccine. Not everybody agrees. I think, you know, you go in, and even the fact that you know it's there, like Regeneron, I mean, it had a hell of an effect on me. And somebody said, I looked better last night than I used to. And I said, I think it was Regeneron. No, it's very, but to me, I don't know, you know, maybe I'm not right, not everybody agrees, but to me, knowing that there's something that can knock it out, to me is actually more important than a vaccine. But the vaccines are coming, therapeutics are already here and coming, and in my opinion, the therapeutics in some cases are already cures. Under my administration, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world, and now we're doing it again. So it's called Make America Great Again Again. Right? Right? Make America great again again. So we're going to change all the hats. You're going to have to go out and buy a new one. It's going to have again, comma, again, exclamation point. In my first 3 years, we increased family income over $6,000 more than 5 times the gains in all 8 years under the last administration. Think of what that means. African-American unemployment, Hispanic-American unemployment, and Asian-American unemployment all reached their lowest levels ever recorded, right? We lifted nearly 7 million Americans out of poverty, including more than 1.5 million Hispanic Americans. And when the virus hit, we experienced the smallest contraction, think of that, the smallest, of any major country and the fastest recovery of any country in the world. We're recovering at a level that nobody's seen. And that's despite the fact that Democrat governors have a lot of their states closed. When you look at Michigan, although we just won the court case against her, the only one that was given freedom was her husband, right? He was the only one that was allowed to go sailing on the lake. Nobody else could do it. But we just won the case. It was unconstitutional what she was doing. She was running it like a prison camp. And you have Pennsylvania, and you have North Carolina, and you have other places. They got to open them up. I guarantee November 4th, they'll say, well, we've decided to open. They just want to keep the numbers down as much as possible. It's not going to help them. Since April, we created a record 11.4 million jobs. Under Biden, it took 30 months to recover more than half of the jobs lost in a crisis. We did it in 5 months. Think of that, 30 months, 5 months. And they had the slowest recovery in history, or in 1929, since 1929. They don't know which. They say it both ways, but 1929 is a long time ago. It was the slowest recovery since 1929. We've achieved energy independence, and we've done it while protecting our pristine environment. I recently signed an order placing a moratorium on offshore drilling off the coast of Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and I decided to add Florida. Is that okay? We added Florida. We didn't want to make you too unhappy. Now we added Florida right at the beginning. Under my leadership, we achieved the most secure border in U.S. history, and we're finishing the wall, 400 miles, and Mexico is paying for the wall. You do know that, okay? They like to say, you know, after years of fighting for it, I made a terrible mistake. I should have said, we will not build a wall. We will never, ever build a wall. We will never build a wall. And the Democrats would have insisted that I build it, okay? Right? We should have done that. If we did that, we'd have no problem. It took me 2 years to get this thing done. But when you're a developer from New York or a developer anywhere, getting financing is always not so hard. The Biden-Harris plan would also increase refugee admission by over 700%. Think of that. Refugee admission. This is agreed to. This, we call it the manifesto between Joe and Crazy Bernie. And AOC plus 3, too, you know. She's a great student. You know, she drew the environmental plan. She's a great student of the environment. How many days do you think she spent at her college studying the environment? 3? They pledged to terminate all national security travel bans. They will open the floodgates to radical Islamic terrorism. And you saw what happened in France just the other day. And we sent our sincere best wishes to the President Macron, who's doing a good job, not an easy job. I'm keeping the terrorists, jihadists, and violent extremists out of our country. Keep them the hell out. You know, I instituted a ban, and they all said I was a bad guy, but you know what? I'll be a bad guy. Does anybody object to the ban on having radical Islam come in? The radical Islamic terrorists, no, we do have a ban. We invested $2.5 trillion in rebuilding our U.S. military. It's the best and strongest it's ever been, all made in the USA. With the best equipment in the world. Hydrosonic rockets go 7 times faster than what we have right now. Think of it. We have the greatest military that we've ever had. And when I came here first, the world's most overrated general said to me, "Sir, we have no ammunition." I said, "That's not good. No president should ever hear that. But we now have ammunition like we've never had ammunition before." And for our veterans, we have veterans here. We passed VA choice and VA accountability, right? Thank you, fellas. Thank you. VA choice, VA accountability, right? And everyone said that could never happen. And we just got a 91% approval rating from the vets. It's never happened. It's never been anywhere near that. It was the, do you ever remember, you know, you were growing up, we're living in, every night they'd have in the news these horror stories about the vets and how badly they were. You don't see that anymore. Now, they'll go out and they'll find a vet someplace that's unhappy. And you'll see it tonight, right? There he is. Look, Uncle Sam is unhappy. Oh, look at this guy. You look good. Wow. Wow. You 105 years old. Wow. Beautiful couple, beautiful. Thank you very much. Wow. Thank you very much. 105. You look like you're, to me, about 68. You look beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Beautiful. That's great. We killed the leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi. We took out the mass murder of American troops. Soleimani is dead. I withdrew from the last administration's disastrous Iran nuclear deal. I recognized the true capital of Israel and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. And instead of never-ending wars in the Middle East, we have now, for the first time, very close to Middle East peace without blood all over the sand. We just signed another day. We just signed another one today. UAE, Bahrain, and today Sudan, and we have them lined up. Nobody thought this was going to happen. It turns out that I'm the peace president. Nobody thought that. Remember, they used to say he'll be at war. Remember, they said North Korea. You would have been, had Hillary won, crooked Hillary, you'd be at war, in a nuclear war with North Korea. Whatever happened to that war, right? Remember? Biden will trap us in nothing but endless Middle East wars and other wars because he has no clue. I did more in 47 months than Sleepy Joe Biden did in 47 years. That's true. A vote for Republicans is a vote for safe communities, great jobs, and a limitless future for all Americans. It's a vote for the American dream. It really is. It is. It's a vote for the American dream. Over the next 4 years, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world, and we will end our reliance on China once and for all. That's already started. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement, and we will ban deadly sanctuary cities where we protect criminals. We will uphold religious liberty, free speech, and the right to life, and we will keep, remember this, we will hold on to our Second Amendment. Let me put it very simply, because your Second Amendment is in serious, your Second Amendment without me is in serious trouble. I'll tell you, think about this, you know, when you think about it, I said the other day, I'm standing here, we got the Democrats, we got the fake news, we got the lamestream media, we have the big tech, we have the rhinos, we have the deep state, we have bad Republicans, mostly good, right? We had a 96% approval rating the other day in the Republican Party, and 53% overall. Did you see that, 53%? That scares them. They don't like the 53%. 53% does not lose elections, right? In history, when you're at 53%, you don't lose elections. So they're getting a little bit nervous now. But, you know, we've had all these different groups, and here we stand, and we have the White House, and they don't. Think of it. We have the White House, and they don't. And we stop them from doing very bad things. We will strike down terrorists who threaten our citizens, and we will keep America out of these endless, ridiculous, long-term foreign wars. 19 years in Afghanistan. They're all coming home. They're all coming home. We will maintain America's unrivaled military might, and we will ensure peace through strength. We will end surprise medical billing, require the biggest thing that you're going to see, price transparency. Doesn't sound like much. It's bigger than healthcare. It's already done. Kicks in on January 1st. Further reduce the cost of prescription drugs. That's favored nations. And we will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. Always, always. America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars. And NASA is now the most incredible thing that you've ever seen. And let me tell you, when I took over 3.5 years ago, it was an abandoned mess. We will stop the radical indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education to our schools. We will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. And we will live by the timeless words of our national motto, "In God we trust." For years, you had a president who apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America and standing up for the great people of Florida. For the last 4 years, I have been going to battle for you with everything I have. There has never been a president who has been treated so badly as I have. Oh, it's all turning. It's all just fine. Thank you. And by the way, this should never happen to another president again. We caught them spying on our campaign. We caught them cheating. We caught them doing all sorts of really bad things. They should really, honestly, what happened to them, what they did to us, they spied, they cheated, it's treason. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But it's a disgrace. And it should never, ever happen to another president. But now I am relying on you to get your friends, to get your family, to get your neighbors, get your coworkers, and get out and vote. So important. From Tampa to Tallahassee, from Jacksonville to Fort Lauderdale, places I all know very much. From Pensacola, where I'm going in a little while, to the villages. We stand on the shoulders of red-blooded American patriots who poured out their heart, sweat, and soul, and you did that. You poured out your heart, you poured out your sweat and your soul to secure our liberty, right? And defend our great freedom as a nation. We inherit the legacy of American heroes who crossed the oceans, blazed the trails, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, dug out the Panama Canal, raised up the great skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and from here in this beautiful state landed our brave American astronauts on the face of the moon. We made America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world, and the best is yet to come. True. Proud citizens like you help build this country, and together we are taking back our country. We are returning power to you, the American people. That's what we're doing. With your help, your devotion, your drive, we are going to keep on working, we are going to keep on fighting, and we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. We are one movement, and you know, there has never been a movement like this, you know. There's never been crowds like this. There's never been crowds. And this isn't even a rally. This is a stop at the villages. This isn't a rally. I have a rally in a little while, Pensacola, but this isn't a rally. This is a stop at the villages to say hello to people that have been with me so long. I've been seeing it. I've been seeing it. You're willing to get in fights from your golf carts. You're willing to do whatever the hell is. Where is that person? I love that person. I love our people. But this is just a friendly stop at the villages, and look what happens, right? It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But there never has been a movement like this. There's been movements, but you've never had. You know, when Joe Biden stops, if he has 3, 4 people, I mean, no, seriously, he has the circles. You know the little circles? Which I love. The guy that does the circles is very good, very neat. I'm a perfectionist. Nice, big, beautiful yellow. They're very far apart because he can't get any people. There's only 5 of them. And they have a hard time filling them up. And here we have thousands of people. We have, no matter where we go, there has never been a movement like this. And it's a movement of loving our country. It's a movement of not letting these maniacs take over our country and destroy it. So I just think it's such a great honor to finally be with the villages. I wanted to do this so long. I wanted to do it last time. And I told you I did, but they gave me this big ballroom that held not enough people. And the place was packed outside, but this is really great. And I want to thank my people for putting this together. This was great. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together with the incredible, unbelievable, beautiful people of the villages and of Florida, we have made America powerful again. We have made America wealthy again. We have made America strong again. We have made America proud again. We have made America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, villages. We love you, villages. Thank you. It's great to be here. Thank you. Thank you. Get out and vote.
Young man, there's no need was once in your shoes. I said I was down and out with the blues. I felt no man cared if I were alive. I felt the whole world was so tired. That's when someone came up to me and said, young man, take a walk up the street. It's a place there called the YMCA.